Why is it such a pain? Why is it so difficult? Why is it so complicated to make an automation in a software that is supposed to be super simple? Why is it so complex? Why doesn't it just work? So, why is it not very simple to make the automations that everybody's talking about? Why is it such a pain? Why is it so difficult? Why is it so complicated to make an automation in a software that is supposed to be super simple, like Zapier or Make or N8N? Why is it so hard? So, the main reason why people don't make it, don't actually get a complete product with it, is because they failed to plan, right? The apparency and all the ads and everything will tell you that it's super easy. It's low code, no code. All that is, it's all very true. What it doesn't tell you is what it takes to make all those things work. It's like a tool, like anything else. It's very simple to use in theory. So you're using what doesn't matter. It's a hammer, it's a tool, it's a car. These are all things that you use every day. Software, it's something you use every day. If you don't know how to use the tool, it seems complex, overwhelming, and almost impossible to use. Just think back to the first time you went to go drive a car. You sat down and there's about 25 different controls in front of you. It seems very complicated. And now, years later after driving, you don't even think about it. You get in the car, you put your seatbelt on, you put it in drive, and you go somewhere using all the signals and the wipers and everything else without even thinking about it. And I only realize this because my son is 16 and 15 and he's learning to drive. And he gets in the car and he sits down and he has to think about, well, all right, what order do I do things in? What do I do this first, or do I put it in drive first, or parking brake, or do I use my turn signal, or do I look over my shoulder? What's first? There's so many different things. It's so new. Zapier is the same way. So is Make. Once you get in there, you're like, oh, hey, I wanted to do this and this. Where do I start? Right? Well, I'll tell you the thing is, you started in the wrong place. You don't even start there. If you actually want to create a successful automation or Zap that is even mildly complex, then you have to start before that. You start with the planning process. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you some tips on exactly how to do that. So right now I'm going to go through and say, all right, here are the steps. And the steps are: one, start with a plan, right? Document it. Give yourself an actual written plan. So the actual idea, you have to have a concept. Then you have to have the actual written, documented plan. And the reason for it is it's multiple reasons, and I'll go through it in a minute. But you have to have it documented, and then you actually go into the software to start looking at it. But there's two major steps beforehand. Right, now let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to start from scratch so you can see everything I'm doing from the beginning. So I'm just using ChatGPT. This is ChatGPT 4.0. And I'm going to start the planning process here with, well, let's just say I've never built a workflow before. I need to know what it takes to build a workflow. Let's just ask ChatGPT. I'm going to talk to ChatGPT. So, hey, ChatGPT, give me the high level steps that I need in order to be able to build a workflow in Zapier. What planning do I need to do, or what steps do I need to do? I don't want to listen to it explaining things to me normally, and then it's just going to give me the planning things that I need to do. So it's literally going to tell me what I need to do here. So we're talking about planning stage before Zapier. So define the objective, identify the trigger, define the trigger, and then map out the process, and then sketch it out, and so on. And once it's clear, then you'll build it in Zapier. So there's a bunch of stuff you've got to do before you even get to Zapier if you want to be successful. Now, if this is a very simple thing, as in a form is submitted and you just want to push data somewhere else, you might not need to do all these steps, but you might still want to do them. But so good, it just told me what I need to do. That's great. That's helpful. So how do I actually do this? That's the next question. All right. So first thing first, I need to find the trigger and the goal. So, all right. So I've actually just put it in a Word document, and I went, all right. So I wrote down over here, I'll put it up on the screen. And this is just, again, I literally used the dictation in here in Word to do this. I literally just I dictated, and I said, literally, I want to create a workflow using Zapier. The purpose of it is to have forms come in using Zoho Forms. And when the form comes in, and I wanted to check in Zoho CRM if that contact or lead exists already based off of the email address. And if they do, I wanted to update that information, the contact record or the lead record. And if it doesn't exist there, I wanted to create a new lead using all the information that comes in from the form. After that form is created, I want them added to the newsletter email list, and I want them to receive a welcome email. Great. So I'm just going to copy that. Now, what I have here, because this is now the next step, which is organizing all this. All right, look at this. This is a workflow. Right now, I'm gonna do this from scratch. I'm in Miro, and I'm just gonna say create a new workflow, a blank board. I'm not gonna use any of their templates. I'm gonna use this little feature here that helps me create a diagram. I'm gonna make this into a flowchart and describe this thing. I'm just gonna copy and paste what I wrote there. We're gonna see what it generates. Look at this. Apply that to the canvas. Now, what it did was it just made a workflow for me to work from. So form submission is received. Now, obviously, it's not the prettiest because it's just created it generically, but that's not the point. So form submission received, check the email in Zoho CRM, update the existing record or create a new lead, add it to the newsletter list, send welcome email, workflow is complete. That just diagrammed it. I didn't have to do any work at all whatsoever. But now I've got a map. This is exactly what I need to do. So cool. Now, if that's the case and that worked there, I'm going to go into Zapier. And I've already been doing some stuff in Zapier here, but I'm just going to create a new Zap. Now, I'm going to do the same basic thing here. It says, what can I help you automate? Right? I'm just going to copy and paste that in there. Let's see what it comes up with. Now it's thinking. And what it's going to do really is it's going to give me a list here of all the different apps and actions that I need in the order that I need to do them in order to achieve what I'm talking about right now. So here we go. So the first thing I need is Zoho Forms, and it's a new form entry. So if I go hit plus there, Zoho Forms gets added here. I click on this, and now I've got to come over here and configure it. So Zoho Forms is the app. The event is a new form entry, and it's already mapped to my account because I'm already using Zoho in here. Great. And it's handily just check that off for me. Step 2, find the module entry in Zoho CRM. I'm going to add that in here. Click on this, configure it. It goes Zoho CRM, find the module entry, that's the app, and in the account, I need to select my account, continue, and so on. So enter the text or insert the data. All right, it's going to ask you, what is it? First, you need to complete the step. Of course, form value using email. Nope. I've got to select the correct form. I'm going to go contact us. So that form is what I've selected. That's the trigger. Test the trigger. And it goes, no form entries there, so no examples. Maybe I'll grab a different form. Let's go. We have a lot of forms. New client onboarding, a new lead. Let's go with a new lead form and test the trigger. And great, it gives us some examples of different leads that have come in. Use that there and continue with selected record. Great. And now we're on to find the module entry. So my point is, that's simply how it's done. Now, obviously, you've got to go through the technical steps here. Now, this is all right, well, what do I need to do in order to achieve this? You need to follow these steps and understand what they do, right? It does take a little bit of reading through and researching and confronting what it's saying, because sometimes it's a bit complex, honestly. You go, well, what order do they need to be done in? Yes, find the Zoho form and then check the module entry, and then you need to filter. What does that mean, filter? Well, filter means it's just going to check the data that has come through and go, if it meets certain criteria, continue. If it doesn't meet certain criteria, don't continue. So in this case, it's filter. Let's go filter we want to filter the emails, right? So we're going to go filter the emails right there. So choose a condition if it exists, or if it contains, there you go. If it contains, matches exactly, there you go. If it exists, continue, and then it'll run it and say your Zap would have continued because there's an email there. Great. Next step over here. Look, it's already got the next step ready for me. Now we want to update the module entry in Zoho. And these are the steps. That's how it's done. It's not, it can be a bit, I don't know, confusing, but then I go, well, all right, so what's next? If I check out the overall plan that I've got to get the form in, check if the email exists in Zoho, and if it doesn't exist, update the record, and if it does exist, or if it doesn't exist, create a new lead, and if it does exist, just update it, right? All these steps are there. I don't have to remember them in my head. I have them already here planned out. It's that fast. I did it in real time here for you. What takes a bit of time is just knowing where to go with your tools, because these are all the tools that you need for planning out work. So I'm using Miro, but you can do this with, I don't know, diagrams.net, which is free. There's a bunch of free. Visio is free with Microsoft. You can't do the same necessarily AI data entry with all of them. Just put that data in there. So in which case, fine. If you can't do that, I can go take this entry here and turn it into a diagram description. I can make in Miro. And I'm just going to copy and paste that data. And now it's just giving me, these are all the things that I make. It's even got the shapes in there for me, the colors, the diamond, etc. Now, I wanted to finish off here just by saying, so here in Zapier, this basically gave me all the steps. All I did was click plus and added them in here. Now the next steps are you just have to configure it. Now configuring it is literally just going, well, reading through and understanding what these things that they're asking for are. So here it's going in the module. What module do I want it to check first to see if there's an entry there? It's in the contacts module or the leads module. I can check it. And then what field do I want it to check against? Well, I want to check against email is what I want. I want to see if the email exists or not. And here you go, well, what email should it be checking for? Well, from the form, I'm going to ask it to check the email field here. So I just click the email field and it does that there. Now it gives me the option that I can search for the second field and there's other things it can do. You don't need to do all that. You just go, yes, that's fine, that works. Now it's going to map it. So it goes, this is what it's a module is leads. The field name is, it's checking again. It's just checking the field, the module entry for the email and if it's converted or not, as in it's a lead or not, that's within Zoho. And the value is that. Great. Test a step. It says failed to find the module entry in Zoho CRM. It's because he's in the contacts and we haven't filtered him out yet. So I'm going to go back here and go, contacts is actually what I wanted to filter out. Is check-in, and I'm going to go with email again there and test that. Continue. Pass the test already. So just to retest a step to show, it goes yes. And now it has all these different fields that it can map, which I haven't gone through and mapped because all I wanted to do was check the email if it existed first. Next step is filter, right? And so on. My point is over here on the left-hand side, it actually gives you, if you go after you've done that, so you filled in this here, it gives you instructions of what you need to do. Fill in that, could not fill it in here. This wants to help me fill details here. So here we're going to be filtering, continue, filtering by email, see if it exists. And then in CRM, next step. My point is, if you go step by step, this actually does a really good job of walking you through it, but you do need to understand the logic behind it. If you don't understand the logic here, well, then it's going to stop you. You can understand just by asking, right? How do I do this? That's what this AI Copilot within Zapier does. It's very helpful. If you can't make it through that, go back to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, I'm running into this. Give it the instructions you gave it and say, I'm running into this. How do I fix it? It is super helpful and it will come back with some responses that you can at least go troubleshoot what you're after. I hope that was helpful. The purpose of this video wasn't to do technical troubleshooting on Zapier. We have other videos for that. So if you want some of that, feel free to comment below and I can do a specific one. If you've got a specific requirement, as in you're doing a specific Zap and you're having issues with it, put a comment below and I can do a video to just address that for you. I'm always looking for content ideas, so feel free to do that. We also have a free community that you can join that gives help to people who are trying to get on and into their automation journey. It's called the Flowforge Society. I'll try to put a link in the description below so you can find it. And we're just giving away free help. It's just a free community with videos that we supply. There is a paid part of it that if you want additional help with other things, but the free community's got tons of stuff. Just go check it out. Thanks again. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. If I've given you any value here, please subscribe and leave us a comment on things that you either want to know or need help with. I'll be happy to help.